Scorpio, Sagittarius, to your mid-month reading for September. I hope you friends are doing great out there. If your friends like this, please like and subscribe. Okay, guys, let's see what's going on with you in this beautiful mid-month. Feeling ambitious right now. Feeling like you're racing forward. Let's see what's going on. Why are you feeling ambitious? What are you racing towards? Oh. Something that you had lost some inner strength from, but is gaining some peace from at this time. Feeling like you're in more of an accepted mode to what is going on as you're finding the inner peace to the situation. So having a little bit of alone time. National loss of bond. Definitely taking a pause and surrender to the situation, whatever was keeping you at some kind of inner turmoil going on within the situation, but it feels like you're back in the game again over here, Scorpio, Sag. You're like ready to race. It does feel like with this alone time that you're having, definitely seeing this alone time, you're coming to more of an acceptance on what happened, and finding the inner peace to the situation. There could have been some lost love over here as you felt like, you know what, I was drained, I was blocked. Could have been repressing a lot of emotions. But taking this time to surrender has allowed you to let go of this situation, where you're feeling like you can focus now where focus needs to be made when it comes to this relationship. It does feel like a relationship. You gained a lot of wisdom within whatever happened to the situation during this situation. And it was during this alone time that you've had to think things through. It could even have to do with something that had to do with money, unpaid debts, something of this. Could be a loss of a job, something that has to do with that. It was like the relationship with money. So if something has gone awry where you had to spend money on something and you feel like it has pushed you backwards in your finances, you feel like you're ready to rock and roll again. However the situation is, but whatever it is, you're perceiving things in a different way, feeling more connected to yourself within this situation, taking back your authority for sure. You do feel like you're more mentally disciplined, and coming to the truth about the situation. That's where that acceptance is. Yeah. Understanding this change and this turning point that's going on within your life. It was some kind of excessive something excessive was an extreme was definitely going on. You could have been excessively spending money. What's going on over here? Definitely putting you in a challenge, self-discipline. Realigning yourself for sure. They're building back up the patience towards this person. Could have been dealing with a Leo or could have been a fire sign as well. Leo, Aries, or a Sagittarius. I also have strong air over here as well. Definitely whatever's going on over here, there was something that went awry that definitely threw you off. Made you feel like you lost your footing there for a while, and you definitely have to feel like you're getting back on top of your gains. That's what it is. You may have had some car trouble and some car problems, and you might feel like this car has been eating away your money. Something has, you know, for a lot of you, it could be a car situation. But whatever was going on, it did feel like that in the end you did feel like you learned a lesson over here that feels like it could have been what you considered a failure to the situation. So you may have felt like you were stuck in some kind of rut, and now you're realizing the importance of what your comfort zone really is. Because whatever this is, it definitely pushed you out of your comfort zone. Huh. I find what's going on over here. Looks like you spent too much money somewhere, or somebody's overspent money. It feels like you were carrying all the burdens. And now it just feels like you're going to get the prosperity back, what you've lost, whatever lost gains you had. It's almost like you had to come to the realization that this is just the way it was. Like I said, whether it was fixing this car, taking all your money away, or someone who is spending all this money, or you who were giving yourself too many self-gratifying moments, right? Out spending too much money and then realized, oh my God, something bad just happened, and now my car doesn't work, and now all of a sudden I spent all the money, and now, it's pushed me out of my comfort zone, where now you are no longer feeling like you're in the challenge to keep this comfort zone. You feel like everything is starting to come back around, and that's why you're feeling a little more ambitious about the situation. I think that whatever is going on over here, if you're definitely dealing with another person as well, you might be feeling like you are tolerating them a little bit more than you had before, even though you felt like they were overspending some money. That really is what it is. It's overspending money. There is lost gains here. And now you are feeling much stronger in where you are feeling about your wealth. You're finding that your financial security feels like it is coming back to where you feel, like I said, more comfortable. Now, there's definitely something here. It really threw you for a loop. It was definitely a shakeup. If you had lost your job, you may have felt like, you know what, but I only had so many gains left, but I was trying to hold on to as much as I could, but it just feels like everything got away from me. Everything started breaking. Everything, going downhill. And now I got this new job coming in. Yeah. Definitely feeling insecure about the money at one time, where now you're feeling like you're not in such a competition to gain this money. There's new ventures and new doors and new opportunities coming. It's just finding that peace within myself to say, okay, you know what, this is how it's going to have to be, right? I'm going to have to rebuild. I'm going to have to take back, some time and some effort and understanding that this is the way things are, just, this is the way it's working. Not just focusing on the disappointments, but actually going towards what it is I truly need over here, and finding that confidence to get determined where it is I need to put my foot back. So it does feel like wherever this is going over here, my friends, it feels like you had fallen and you finally put your foot back on the right path to where you feel, like I said, this is where I belong. This is where I need to be within this situation, because if I don't, we're going to have even more issues. So you're kind of like welcoming in these new opportunities and getting plenty of rest to come to this situation of where it is I need to be. This is very interesting. Only for the fact that it feels like you were a little overcritical with yourself. You may have even been a little overcritical with someone who was overspending money, and it was just to the point where it was like, whoa, hold on a second. If we keep doing this, we're just going to get more in debt. We're having a bigger issue. It can even cause issues within a relationship, right? But now you feel like there's this turnaround. And you can see this turnaround where you're becoming more organized, shifting the spotlight to saying, okay, well, you know what, let's not worry about that. Let's worry about how we're going to get all this back on track. Where is everything? So definitely climbing the ladder to your ambition over here. And no longer really feeling like you're stuck, because all of a sudden you're going to feel like you have the Midas touch as you would become more aware of the situation. Yeah, I definitely had some kind of tower moment that really just awe-struck you and really put you in your mind and really kept you stuck. But now you feel like your fruits of your rewards are going to come in, and they definitely are with the imprints over here, because you're going to all of a sudden feel like, whoa, what just happened? This huge thing just turned around, guys, and this major breakthrough, right? That just felt like there was snags and tags and everything was falling apart is now all of a sudden, boom, coming back your way. Wow, you know, it's like, thank you, Jupiter, for being in retrograde to allow such miracles and wondrous things to happen as you are taking definitely this beautiful transition within this situation. As you're walking away from that, you're going to feel like, whoa, hello, you're going to feel like the emperor over here. Feeling like, you know what, now I'm back in the leadership role that I need to be, and everything feels more practical, where before everything was just kind of all over the place. And I didn't even know if I was coming or going, and that's really what it is. And it is saying, I'm moving up this ladder over here. You may even have really big, quick decisions to have to make this swift change. Go back into your zone, right? To make that comfort zone. Wow. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. As the mid-month, you're going to feel like there's this shift, this huge shift going around you, and you might already be feeling this shift as it's coming, and you might even be feeling over here, Scorpio, that, you know what, why do I feel this shift? What is this weird kind of feeling that I'm having? Well, it's literally the shift. It's an energetic shift, and you know, why all of a sudden do I feel excited to want to get pumped up to go do something? Well, you have that Leo energy of that Queen of Wands plus that Knight of Swords coming in. It's saying, look at the tides of time are turning in your favor over here. And I think that that's going to really pump up the energy for you. And like I said, I think a lot of you understand that this energy is already pumping up inside you, but you're not sure exactly what it's for. What is the reason? Why do I feel so good? It's kind of this feel-good energy that's coming, and it's putting you in this this different kind of momentum of this flow of wanting to go and do things. But it's kind of like, why? You know, why? You know, it was like last week I felt like shit, and this week I just feel like I want to rule the world, right? Well, that's because that energy is pulling towards you, my friends. And that is because now you feel like you're fueled. But I also think it's because Mercury retrograde really kind of pushed you back and made you feel, you know, not as productive. Things aren't really working. Things are, you know, everybody's misinterpreting things that I'm saying. Things are breaking. I can't do this. And it's just like kind of like doing the backspin all the time, right? Trying to get forward, I'm always going backwards. And now you're actually going to feel like the routines that you're doing and the things that you're doing are actually going to start actually setting themselves, you know what I'm saying, in your favor, right? So you can actually feel like you're having this kind of lucky trine coming towards you, right? You're really going to feel like things are actually like, whoa, they're moving for me instead of against me, right? And I think that that's really what this whole thing really is this really kicking off this different energy that's happening around you, where I think that you've been stuck in such a rut for a little bit when it comes to this area of your life. Yeah, how are you supposed to feel, right? All of a sudden it's like I stepped my foot out just for 1 second and was like, boom, here you go. And you're like, what do you mean, here you go? How the hell did I do that? Right? So then it just wants to keep pushing you and pushing you. You're like, whoa, well, then where am I going? You see what I'm saying? It's like, wow, everything's stationing for me and, you know, wellness. If you didn't feel healthy and you didn't feel good and you felt down, all of a sudden you're feeling better. Not as depressed, not this, not that. So renewed energy. So yeah, there's something brewing, and I just feel like you guys know this. Like there's something brewing, right? And it's just not my coffee in the morning, right? This is just moving really smooth, where everything just felt like it was just blah. You know, it was almost like to the point where I feel like a lot of you were just kind of like, I don't even want to put a foot out there, right? Because every time I put my foot out there, somebody steps on my foot, right? So now you can feel like you can actually step out the door without somebody stepping on you or trying to trip you up, right? Where you actually get one foot out and the other one actually gets to come out too without being stopped. And it's like, whoa. So you're definitely going to have this extra motivation to want to get out there and do things. where I feel like you just haven't seen that in a while. So let's get a card over here and see what's going on for your overall. Yeah, I love this energy. You're really going to feel like, you know, things are actually moving for my betterment. God, everybody wants that. We just love to know that people are going to work with us. Things are going to be on our side. Oh my gosh, I just love that. So overall card, please. So the overall card is unexpected income. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, it could be coming from this mature woman. It doesn't have to be a woman. It could be a man, but it's definitely a mature person. So they could be offering you a job. They could be, you know, helping you out, whatever the case may be. But it does feel like that's where it's coming from. For some of you, it is. It's an opportunity for a new job and something of this nature. If you're looking forward to, you know, a new house, a new place to stay, maybe you're having a hard time finding a rental, you know, that's for, let's say that I can only afford this much and I can't find anything. Now, all of a sudden, you know, this mature, we'll say woman over here has this, you know, this house for you, right? And they've got it to where you can afford it, you know, and you're just like, wow, finally, right? Okay, guys. So beautiful reading. Until next time, peace and love. Bye-bye.